He and another boy ran away from home or without their parents' permission because you had to be 18 to enlist, and he was only 17.
Did he ever tell you why he wanted in so badly, or?
He told me that it was they wanted to defend the right. They were against the Germans, and he felt a calling, to defend or to fight in the war. And there was letters that said, to his parents, it looks like I'm going to be going overseas to France. And the Ticonderoga, when he was on it, was headed for France.
Did he ever talk about that day? What happened?
Yes, he talked about it, and it's well documented and everything. But
what did he tell you about?
He said that he woke up he was woken with a loud noise from them, where at around 5:30 that morning, and he stayed. He said he stayed with the ship, but then things got really bad, and then finally he was taking a life raft, and when it was going down, when they were pushing it over for them to get into, it got caught, and they couldn't get it, and they would have all been killed. But when the Germans were shooting at them, they shot it loose. So then he went down on that raft. He said they tried to save some other people, but they couldn't get to them. But then they were out there for 4 days and 3 nights with, I believe, rationing about a biscuit and and some water every day. He was one of 22 survivors, and there had been originally 235 on the ship. The Germans had put up a surrender flag, white surrender flag. However, the Germans still kept shooting, and then they wanted to take the officers prisoner, because that was like a reward that they got.
So your father was on board when the Germans were shelling the ship. Did he talk about being scared or worried?
Yeah, he was scared, worried, and said a lot of prayers.
Was your father injured at all during this, or?
I think he had a thumb that had been shot, but he was. Today they call it what,
PTSD?
PTSD. In those days they called it shell shock.
Oh. Because
he was quite nervous. It was a struggle because a car would backfire, which they would, and he'd hop right under a bench and hide. As I knew my father, who he was 40 years old. One night he was the most relaxed individual, the most friendliest, lovable, relaxed individual. Nothing bothered him. Type of person. This was one of the worst death tragedies in the whole of so many people being killed at one time. So it's a significant, as World War, we come up and celebrate the armistice of the end of the war. This was a significant event. Sad one, but significant.